Welcome back to Stand With Us. I'm Roz Rothstein, and today we are with Kay Wilson, a survivor of terrorism, and she began her story. We're going to continue now. You got to the point where you were overcome, and the guy pulled out a machete.
A foot long, serrated edge.
Okay.
And I'm looking around for Christine, and she's being held a few feet away by another Palestinian who's got a bread knife to her throat. And then begins...
What is going through your head, Kay? I mean, are you feeling like this is my day to die? I mean, what were you thinking? Do you remember?
No, I remember everything very, very clearly. Look, it's a process of what happens. It's not one particular emotional thought at once, okay? First of all, there's the absolute shock. I mean, like somebody pounces on you from behind. And then the terror of seeing that knife, you know, just seeing the knife. And then it's an interesting question, Roz, because then what happens, it's almost like permafrost over your head. You know, you just, like an ice cream headache, you can't think. I'm standing in one of the most beautiful places in Israel. You know, the birds are chirping and I can smell the pines and the skies are blue. And I'm thinking, this is not happening. This doesn't happen to me. This is, and there's a sense of disassociation, and I'm waiting, thinking somebody's going to come along any second and rescue us. Mm-hmm. So there's this impotence to even function, and that, of course, it's waves of being frozen, like inertia. It's terror. It's even hope and expectation.
You had hope that somebody would hear this or somebody would come along.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's called the delusion of reprieve, you know, but look, the thing is, we were held, first of all, we were held half an hour, which is a hell of a long time. And because he didn't stab me back when I stabbed him, I'm thinking, this is my rationale, and they didn't rape us, thank God, you know, but half an hour is ticking along, and I'm thinking, well, he didn't murder us, they haven't raped us. I'm trying to convince them to take the car keys, and I'm negotiating with them, and they don't seem particularly interested in that.
They didn't close your mouth? They didn't?
Not at that point, not at that point. I mean, in the beginning, I'm trying to convince them that we're both tourists. You know, and Christine Lucan was extremely courageous, because they start going through our bags. And Christine said, look, I'm an American citizen, she said in English. I'm an American citizen, take my passport. So then I said, forgetting in the trauma that I'd spoken to them in Hebrew about the water, I said, yeah, I'm a tourist too, and then I realized I don't have a passport. And he goes through my belongings and he picks out my Israeli ID. And so then he says in Arabic, shuhadeh, like, what's this? And then from that moment on, I realized the game's up, so to speak, and I'm conversing with them in Hebrew. So all kinds of things are going on in my mind. And then after half an hour of endless trying to persuade them to take the stuff and run, I can hear one of them making phone calls in Arabic. I know a little Arabic from my work with my Arab friends, bus drivers, as a guide, and they're trying to coordinate a car. And so this horrendous thought comes over me that we're going to be kidnapped. And it's when Gilad Shalit was still in captivity. So I'm waiting now for them to push us through the forest. Instead, one of them tells me to take off my shoes. They tie our hands behind our back with my laces. He takes off my Star of David. They gag us, cut up Christine's fleece. They gag us. And we're standing there side by side. And I'm thinking, okay, we're going to be in Gaza in a minute. This is just too much. And one of them moves between us. And he pushes me on my knees. And he covers my head with the remainder of Christine's fleece. And so I'm like this on the ground. And I can see, I'll never forget any of it, but I won't forget this. I see a light glinting out of the corner of my eye, and it's the sun on his machete. And then there's this cosmic, celestial chorus of three monotheistic creeds. They say, Allahu Akbar. I hear Christine scream, Jesus. And I find myself on the forest ground, on my side, and I'm whispering Shema Israel as he's plunging his machete into me, and he's breaking bones, and every time he pulls out the knife it's serrated, so it's ripping the skin. And Christine is laying on her back 4 or 5 feet away, and the other guy he's kneeling on her, and he's chopping her up in front of my eyes.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
And you know, she's wriggling and she's screaming, and it's like watching a little chick, you know, all the feathers being pulled out. And I'm in such, first of all, such physical pain, horrendous pain. And I mean, several things were going through my mind. First of all was, I'm 46 years old and I'm being murdered. You know, I'm never going to see the people I love again. The grief was, I haven't a word for it. The other thing was, just by default, not because I'm Jewish, but I mean, I thought of God. I thought, I'm so small and this is a huge universe. And the other thing is I don't believe Christine's being chopped up in front of my eyes. And I decided, because her murderer was obviously enjoying her pain, the only thing I could do was it's almost like I wanted the last word. I wanted to die, and not without giving him the pleasure of
satisfaction.
Yeah.
So you tried to go silently.
And I played dead, hoping, praying, God save my life.
And God saved your life, or?
I don't want to say that. I mean, I'm grateful I'm alive, but somebody else was murdered.
It's just, that's the really hard thing. There were 2 of you, and you both were tortured, and she's no longer here.
No.
What a story.
Well, can I tell you the rest of the story? I mean, just the end of the attack.
I know there's a lot of the rest of the story.
Oh yeah, I need my own TV show, you know what I mean? But
yeah.
you know, but basically they go and they come back again, and they roll me over, and I'm looking at this hand clutching the machete, and I watch him stab it in my chest. They leave again. Christine is gurgling. She's nearly dead. I managed to get up. I don't know how, and bound, gagged, barefoot, bleeding, drenched in blood and sweat. I had 6 ribs that had snapped, were coming out of my back, a crushed sternum, broken shoulder blade, dislocated shoulder, 13 machete wounds in my lungs and diaphragm, and I walked a mile through the forest.
You walked a mile through the forest in this condition. Unfortunately, I can't believe that we have to take a break at this moment.
I'll be glad. I need a cigarette, you know.
Yeah, okay. Maybe not a cigarette, but
well,
we're going to be right back with Kay Wilson, who is an incredible woman and survivor of terrorism. Don't leave us. We'll be right back.